What can you tell us that don't know anything about it, that weren't there, that weren't ensconced in the community or the culture, as to what that was all about and that beef and what was going on?
I was in the studio right when Pac was dissing Mobb Deep. I was in the studio with Mobb Deep every day. I was with them, and they were making skits uh, and references to Pac, dissing Pac, and because Pac said some fucked up shit, and then Pac died and got murdered, and so they said poor taste, rest in peace, Tupac. They're just words. Words are just words. But now this young kid is dead. Tupac was dead. So, uh, but yeah, I remember getting a phone call. Biggie died. I remember getting a phone call. Pac died. Pac died first, but it was some crazy times and very heavily hyped by the media. The
Mm.
East versus West thing was definitely something that the media really loved. Vibe magazine and all of them loved it. The East versus West, East versus West. But yeah, it ended up bad. Ended up losing two of the most loved people of the time and young people of the time.
Mm.
They were young, 24 and 25.
Do you think that like, I think about, it's ridiculous to think about the line of work I've been in, and when you have sort of a conflict with another company or another group or another, I worked in radio, another, you know, and do you think the guys who were throwing beef, who were, the actual artists themselves, were as serious about the conflict as you're saying, as the community around them? Like, could Pac and Biggie have, was there a lot of anger behind it, or was part of it artistry and kind of a bit of comedy in there as well, and kind of, I'm going to show you up, or was there actual hatred between those groups when they were throwing their shade?
Well, you're surrounded by entourage and ego and all of this stuff. Obviously, you know, if it didn't end the way it ended, they'd be friends today, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They'd be damn near 50 years old and they'd be hugging it out. They'd be chilling. It's just when it's ego and street shit and, you know, crooked people in your circles. There was some real shady people in the music business, uh, and lives are lost. But they'd be hugging it out right now. They'd be laughing, talking about the old days. I'm sure. I don't think they would have held some 25-year grudge against each
Yeah.
other, and this and that. I think they would have been fine. Maybe doing a verses together. So.
I do think about that, and I think about, like, Ice Cube's No Vaseline, and obviously you said you weren't a fan of the NWA album, but I think about that beef between those groups. He throws shade at all of the rest of the members of NWA, and I wonder about Ice Cube's relationship today with Dr. Dre, because that album is still out there and those words are still out there, and I wonder if, I mean, I don't know if it gets radio airplay. I don't know if Ice Cube would perform that today at a concert, but if he did, is that, would that still sting, or is that like, that was yesterday, we've moved past it, even if its song is still part of today's culture?
Yeah, I mean, you get it. Yeah, look at MC Shan and Karis One; they hug it out. Look at Kango Kid, had Roxanne, and then Shantae made Roxanne's Revenge, and it was battling Kango Kid and Roxanne Shantae. They were, I don't know if they had an affair or whatever, but they were always with each other and loved each other. They were like loved each other. They were close friends, till the end. And he just passed recently, and at the time it was like, all of the Juice Crew and Karis One, if they see each other, they're hugging.
Yeah.
Look at Kane and Karis One. They talked some trash at the thing, but they still, showed respect in a lot of ways. And Marley Marl did a fucking album with Karis One. You know what I mean? After the bridge is over and all of this stuff, and they were enemies supposedly on wax, but yeah, they all hug it out. It's one community. It's a small community. So